Alright, so what we have here, Mr. McHale, is this little brand new to you Canon. It's called a VIXIA HV40 HDV Canon video camera, digital camera. Now you ask me, how do you open the top for the it's right here. There's a little slider. You just open it like that, and that's it. And it'll do the rest by itself. It'll watch the tape. It'll pop up. And it says right on there, do not push. Okay? Do not push down. So when you want to get rid of the tape, you just pinch it together. You don't push it down. You just pinch this together like this, and it'll snap, and then it'll go down by itself. You see it lower down by itself. Once it lowers down, you close the lid. So to open it, there's a little slider here, open, and it'll pop up by itself. Watch it go. You see the tape popped up. I don't know if you've seen that very well. Anyway, it popped up. And then when you're ready to get rid of it, you just clip it here, and you watch it lower itself, see? And then once it's lowered itself, you close it. So you never push it, you never pull it. The only thing you ever do, once it pops up out of there, see? It comes up out of there and it opens up by itself, opened up. So it lifted up and opened. I don't know if you can see it very well on the tape. But to close it, you just pinch this together and it'll snap. And then it lowers by itself. It's very important, you'll break it. Once it's down, you just close the lid and you're done. So that's simple. Inside of the door here is your window. Now this will flip one way, but it won't flip this all the way the other way. It'll only go down. But when you want to flip it over frontwards for selfies, you flip it up and then it'll be turned right around and you can see it. And you have controls on the front, and you also have the remote control that I told you about that will control all these things as well. So when it's on a tripod, you can do that. And then when you put it away, it won't. There's one way it won't go, so you have to flip it backwards gently, and then you just push it in. That's it. So be careful with it, and it'll be good for you a long time. Same with the lens. You see the lens cap is open. Now when I turn this off, it'll so you have play mode, and on this one you have play and record. But so right now I'll show you, but watch the lens when I turn it off. It'll do that all by itself. It shuts this lens off all by itself. So that lens cap closes and opens when it's ready. So when it opens and you turn it on, now if it's on play, it won't open. But if you put it on like this to record, it'll open all by itself. So, and then inside the door here too is where your little chip is. Your little chip is in here. There's a little door. This is just for video or for camera work. I know it's not very easy to see with the light that I have here, but we'll try to do another video. That's it. Okay, so I'm going to show you a few more things. Right now I have this plugged in. The battery's being charged while it's plugged in. But to open the door, you just open it like that. You can flip it forward all the way around, but you can't flip it backwards, only down to backwards. It won't go all the way, so never force anything. If it feels like it stopped, it did. Just be very careful, and it'll always be a good camera. You flip it all the way around forward for the selfies. So if you want to do a selfie, you flip it around, you can see yourself. Now that's all really good. Now you don't have to use this little window. If you're trying to save a lot of battery, you can look through the eye hole here. So you can do your video that way. Now, when you're doing video, you can, if you want to watch the video, you can open the window and just, here's your on and off button. So you play to the right, you can see play. You just push this little green button down that's on the top and pull it to the right, and now it's in play mode. So it'll play what's on your tape. How do you do that? There's all your little play buttons here, play, rewind, and everything here. Or you can use your recorder or your remote control. Now in the middle of this button here, this turns it off. You hold the green button down and you can see it says off. Okay, now if you want to record on the video, you go to the left. Now it even says on the screen, it'll say, you're ready to tape, you're set to tape. Now why does it say that? Because you have some controls here that you can leave this on auto most of the time. You can read about later. The bottom one is a tape. You see it says there's a little cassette tape. So if you push that back, you're recording on your cassette tape. If you push this little one forward, then you're going to be recording on your little chip. And your little chip is in here where I showed you earlier in this door. Now the little chip is mostly for pictures. You could do really little tiny, maybe 1 second videos or something on it, but it's really for pictures. And you can take pictures on the tape as well as video, but on the chip, it's mostly for pictures. So that's always in there. It's a big chip. So if you run out of some video, maybe you can take some pictures of whatever you want. So you put this on camera, put this on tape, and put this on auto. And then when you turn it on, okay, from here, you turn it on to cassette or to camera. Now it's ready to tape. So you open up the door, it tells you you're all set to go, and then you just push the button right here. And that stops and starts the recording. All right, now if you want to take a picture on the tape while you're taping, you can do that here. Or you can flip this over to the little chip, and then this button will take pictures on the chip. And I'm going to do that. I'm going to push this over to the chip forward, and then you watch when I take a picture. You push the button halfway down, and you'll see a little green. That's just the focus button. Then when you're ready to take the picture, you go ahead and snap it, and you see that it comes up with all kinds of graphs and stuff. So if you want to edit that picture later, you can see the color coding and everything inside of Photoshop or whatever you're using. Then you have little doors everywhere. This little door here is where you, in the front, is where like you would plug in that microphone if you want to use that fuzzy microphone that I have for you. Hold on, let me get it. So this little fuzzy microphone is it's actually a little microphone underneath this fuzzy ball is what it is. So you got this microphone here, but this fuzzy ball just keeps the air, the wind, so it kind of snaps on. You don't usually take that off. And then this little piece here just slides onto the top of the camera. So how do you do that? There's this little door on top of the camera, okay, right above the eye lens. And this little door doesn't really come off. It just opens. Okay, so it stays there. But this little thing here is where you would slide this onto, see? So this little square piece of plastic slides into this groove, and then once you can turn this wheel too, so you can loosen it and tighten it. So what you do is you loosen it up, you slide it into this little groove, then you tighten it up, and then it's sitting on top of the camera. So I'll do that now that I've told you how to do it, but we'll show you how to do that later too. But it just slides, this little piece of plastic slides into the groove, and then once you slid it in, you can tighten this wheel that's on top of it. Okay, tighten the wheel up, and that tightens that mic down. Then you just take this little cord that's plugged into the mic, and you plug it into the camera right here in the red. Now this is the mic in and the mic out, okay? So now this microphone is hooked up to this camera. And so when you're talking to somebody, say somebody's out in front of you, and you're videotaping them, okay, you're gonna have a very good mic on the top. Now, you don't have to have that. It's a pretty good mic without it, and I've never used that mic on this camera yet, but I will try it, make sure it's working. But it's pretty cool. So, and then it keeps the wind out, so if you're outside And then of course you can put it on your little tripods that I showed you. So you have a few different tripods. You have these two little ones. This little tripod here is just got these little rubbery legs, and it'll just screw in the bottom of your camera here. Okay. And then the other one's the same way. But this one, it doesn't have the rubbery legs. This is more for like sitting on a desktop. And it has a little bit of a pivoty thing here. So you can adjust this. When you turn it, it allows this thing to pivot. So you can set it at angles if you want to on your desk. But if you just want it straight up, you just hold it straight up and then tighten this down. Now straight up is probably where I'd use it most of the time, because if I want to pivot, I'll do something else. But that's a really cool one to pivot if you were, say, if it was sitting up on the car roof or something and you needed that to tip towards you. You just turn that a little bit and then tip it, and then, or how much ever you want to tip it, because it's going to be fastened to the camera. This little thing fastens into the camera just like the other one. So they all screw right into this. Very simple. Okay, so whenever you want to put it on, you just screw that in there. And so now that I have it pivoted, it's a little harder to get on, but I'll show you how it'll go. So now you can see how that camera is setting up in a pivot like that, see? But you can change that just by adjusting this little thing here. So if you want it to set straight at you, you just turn it, tighten it up, okay? So that's that one, and I'll get you on the next one. Okay, so now I want to go back through a few things. There's also a door right here. This is how you hook it up to the HDMI, or if you want to hook it up to your computer, you plug it in here. Now currently I have at least one cord that will work with the computer that you're getting, and that is a USB cord, okay? But it plugs into this camera very carefully. So there's a special cord for this camera. Okay, it looks like this. And actually that is not the location for that. That's actually for some other plug. But when you're plugging it in, it's in this little door here. So this is how you plug it into the camera. And then you plug this into your computer. I'll probably have some other adapters maybe that will go with this computer, but I've always used this because when I bought it, the USB was the king thing. Now there are other cords, they're like Firewire 400 and 800, but the computers don't have that anymore. So we'll look for an adapter that will go to from this camera into like Thunderbolt, because yours has Thunderbolt, your new computer. So anyway, that's how that goes. And you can take your pictures off this way with this cord. And then when you want to open up the door, like I showed you before, to get the tape out, you just slide this little slider, this little black slider, and then pop open the door. The rest happens automatically. It pops open by itself. Do not push, do not pull, do not yank, and do not do anything. So when you're ready, you can pull your tape out now because it's open. So it just slides in and out very easy. The holes inside the tape, obviously, have to go into these little wheels. So you can't have the holes out here. You have to have the holes, pointed in. When you slide that in, it'll slide in very gently. If it doesn't slide in very gently, then you don't have the tape in right. You can't put the tape in backwards. So it slides in very gently, pushes down, one finger tap, tap. And then when you want to close it, you don't push. You just simply pinch these together and they automatically will take the tape down. See, watch. Now, once it's down, you can close the plastic door very simply with one little finger. That's it. And then you have the on and off button. Okay? On and off. So if you got on, and that's on play. You can see where it says play, and then you can play what's on the tape. If you want to see what's on the chip, or on the chip, you'll have to do that in another way. I'll show you. But So anyway, if you want to play, you got your play buttons here, plus you have everything on that remote control I told you about that you could play it with this. Now you can record and play from this handheld thing. But on this, you just push play and it'll play your video. You can rewind your video too before you play it. So that's on the play mode. Then off is in the middle. You hold the green button down just a little bit and turn it to the middle, which now it's on off, okay? And then when you want to record, you put it on camera. Okay, now it says on the screen that you're on camera. Now, how do you know you're not on the chip? Well, right now we're on the chip because it's on chip mode. If you want to be on the camera on the tape, you have to push this back to tape. The top one I usually leave on auto, the back one on tape. Now you are on video tape. You're going to tape on the video, and when you push the record button, it'll tape on the cassette, on the tape. All right, and then you have zoom in and out like that, and you have all these other angles of things you can do as well. Okay, all kinds of little functions, little doors, little hidden doors, places to plug things in. And you'll get a book, and I can show you all that. But when you turn it on, I think I showed you before, on recording, you'll see the window is open. But if you're on play mode only, that little door will shut because you don't need to be recording anything. So it keeps the lens covered on. So that's all automatic as well. Okay? Hopefully these videos will help you.